Right, back at Everton for a couple of months is Landon Donovan. I would say the pin-up boy of the MLS and its pomp over the last decade. And he's a man, of course, who made many friends last time he landed on Merseyside.
Return the sender. Return the sender.
Over to Beckham. Now to Landon Donovan. He goes back out to the right side to Klein. Landon on the run. Klein playing it long. In for Landon Donovan. He's got the goalkeeper out of the net. Landon scores!
We had a quarrel. A lover's spat. Alright, I'm sorry, but my letter keeps coming back.
Baines to Cahill, here's Donovan, left-footed strike, and he scored! Landon Donovan with his first goal for Everton rubs further salt into Sunderland wounds.
Return to sender. Address unknown.
Landon, you landed in the UK yesterday. We've given you the weather, the jet lag, and the endless interviews. You must be very happy right now.
I'm doing all right. It's nice. It's nice to be back here, and I got in last night. Actually, got a pretty good night's sleep, and was excited to wake up this morning, so I can deal with the weather.
And you said Everton was the best Christmas present you could have had. Why did you want to come back so much to the Premier League, and why Everton again?
Well, I loved it here in 2010. Last year, I really wanted to come back, but I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was responsible. My body was pretty beat up, and it didn't make a lot of sense at that point. But I was hopeful this time that they would be open to having me back. And when we got the call from the manager, I was excited and ready for it, and now I'm here.
And what's the main differences for you being at Everton up against Galaxy?
Well, obviously playing in the Premier League is, in my opinion, it's the best league in the world, and having the opportunity to do that is special for a player. So when you get the opportunity, you got to take that seriously. And there are a lot of similarities. In some ways, the Galaxy remind me a lot of maybe what Everton were early on before they had the years and years and years of support. We were fortunate in LA to have really good local support, and hopefully one day you can have something similar to what you have here at Everton, which is really special in my opinion.
Who works you harder, the Galaxy or the Toffees?
Well, it's all, I think, relative. It's a little harder in LA because the heat, and it gets in the summertime it's a little difficult. But it's competitive here. The guys here are definitely. The level here is very good, and it's challenging as a player, but I enjoy it quite a bit.
I have to say, Landon, you're going to get no sympathy from us on having to play football.
The hot weather.
There's people listening now in Glasgow, Belfast, Wigan. Right. Their hearts are bleeding for you having to play in that type of weather. We're a big fan of David Moyes. Obviously, most people are. He's a fantastic man and a great manager. What's it like to just have his knowledge and his input for 2 months in terms of your personal development?
Well, for me, I think the single biggest contributor to my relative success last time was that he really took a chance on me, and I hadn't trained many times. And when we got to the hotel in London for Arsenal game last time I was here, when he named the team, he put me straight in. And when someone has that kind of faith in you, you want to reward them. And I felt that way the entire time I was here, and I feel that way again, and I want to do well for him.
And you did, of course. I think you won January Player of the Year at Everton in your last stint. Have you had a look through the fixtures? Was that one of the first things that you did? Where am I going to be? Who am I going to play against?
Yeah, that's kind of the natural thing to do. And it's worked out well. Particularly get a chance to play Man City and Chelsea both here at Goodison, and then my last game will hopefully be away at Liverpool, which would be pretty special.
And you've got Tamworth at home in the FA Cup third round.
Hey, you never know.
The biggie?
You never know.
So, you scored the winning goal for Galaxy in the MLS Cup final. It was a long time coming and a massive moment for the club and for yourself. Would you trade that winning goal in the MLS Cup final for a hat-trick in that Merseyside derby? It's hard to choose, but these are the questions you get.
I'm going to say yes, I would, because I believe the Galaxy we would have won no matter what had happened. So I'll trade that in. Since it's already happened, I'll gladly trade it in now.
And you've just stepped in. When's your first training session with the team?
I just trained this morning, actually.
Who are you most excited about seeing again, in terms of, maybe personally, who you've developed friendships with, but also as players, who do you admire the most?
Certainly not Phil Neville. He's been fun to have around, but he certainly doesn't let me get away with anything, which is nice. There's a lot of good players here. I've always admired Bainesy quite a bit, Leighton Baines, and Tim Cahill, who's been here a long time. I have a lot of respect for guys who have done it year in and year out for a long time, so it's good to see their faces again. That's
the point, though, isn't it, Landon? A lot said about the quality of the MLS, but you name those players, and there's no doubt that you're of that standard, and you have been for a long, long time a Premier League standard player. Have you ever been tempted to come here full time, or do you see that as an option moving forward? Because you're young enough.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I absolutely do. And when I signed my last deal with LA, my thought was that before the World Cup in 2014, if I'm there, I'll be free before the World Cup and have a chance to really do whatever I want in my life. And at that point, I certainly won't be young. But if the opportunity is still there to play somewhere, maybe in Europe, I think that's something I'll look at more seriously, because there's only so many more chances to do that. And
Everton would naturally then be very high up the list.
That would be the natural fit, yeah.
You come all the way here to play football, a change, yet you're going to have to, face Thierry Henry again. You're going to have to play in the same league as these players you left behind. Are you looking forward to that? As the exodus, it's becoming more and more, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, it's nice now that teams really have a lot of respect for American players, and you see more and more playing now, not only in the Premier League but all over Europe. But for me, I'm just so impressed with the intensity and the pace of this league every week. And I learned last time that there's no easy games. You get a game against a team who you think, okay, they're bottom half of the table, this should be an easy game, and it's just as hard as playing Tottenham away. So it's been really interesting to learn that, but it's really fun to be a part of as an athlete.
And you fit in just about anywhere in the world, Landon. You're a man of culture. You speak Spanish. You speak German. How do you get on with Scouse accents?
To be honest, I understand German's better than I do
You're a man of culture. You speak Spanish.
They say I got no idea what they're saying.
There's one thing about Liverpool. I'm not sure you were here long enough to know this, and forgive me if I'm not accurate, but I believe, to quote James Brown, you're single and you want to mingle. I think that's a fact. I know you've come here to play football, but the ladies of Liverpool are indeed lovely. You could come here to play 8-9 football games and maybe leave with a wife.
I'm not planning on it. The plan was to concentrate on football, but you never know what can happen. The women here are very beautiful.
I can't think of anything I could ask you beyond that. With a statement like that, Landon, best of luck to you in your time back in England. We're looking forward to watching you play, and as you say, who knows in the future, eh?
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
That was Landon Donovan, straight off the plane and straight on to kicking off here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Here every Friday night from 7 to 10 to preview your weekend of sport.